Welcome back, everybody, to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 online, raising nearly $1 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I just want to say again, everyone, thank you. You donated at least $100,000 to the PCF to make this upcoming Rocket League showcase happen. And just thank you. Thank you so much. Now, for this upcoming workshop speedrun showcase, our runners, BoneyPlatypus, Jimingo, blaku, and ThundaSurge are here, and they are ready to impress and astound with their skill on a collection of community-made maps crafted to test the very best of the best. And because you all work so hard to make it happen, you're going to get to see the best of the best next. And let me just leave you all with one donation before sending it over to the run. Totem with $50 says 1 million. We can do it. Totem, yes. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Some say there is a rank even beyond that of supersonic legend. In this hallowed pantheon resides BoneyPlatypus, Jimingo, blaku, and ThundaSurge. Chat, say their names, prepare to bear witness, and get absolutely hype for their workshop speedrun showcase of Rocket League!
Oh, man. All right. What's up, guys? I'm BoneyPlatypus. I believe that we will hit that million run during this. I'm here joined by two friends. I have LiefX and Plumato. Plumato, if you want to start off.
Hey guys, I'm Plumato. I run the SRC boards on speedrun.com for a lot of the workshop maps and keep a lot of the times down on that. I've been with the speedrun community for the last 5 years. I've been playing the game for about 6 years on top of that.
I'm LiefX. I'm the host of the RLCS, which is the professional circuit for Rocket League. So this is a different. It's still mechanic heavy with things we're going to see today, but it's definitely a little bit different than what I'm used to. But I'm very excited that this community gets to showcase themselves on the big stage. We have so many different pocket communities in Rocket League, whether it's the competitive, whether it's just the content creation on YouTube and Twitch, whether it's just the trading groups, the casual groups, and now the speedrunning groups, the freestyle group. There's so many different communities, and now freestyle gets to, speedrunning gets to showcase themselves on the big screen at AGDQ, and this is extremely exciting. Now, this is going to look a lot different. I want to quickly explain to people before we get into this. There's a lot of small mechanics we'll explain as we go, and we'll have the runners explain them. But this looks different than what most of you probably expect from Rocket League. These are workshop maps available to PC players on the Steam platform of this, and they've been grinding a lot of these different maps. They're community made. Everybody's just making these big names. Of course, one of them being Lethamir. You'll see a few of his maps today. They've been making these maps to showcase skill, the mechanics of these players, something a little extra to add to your Rocket League if you just don't want to hit the ball right now. I want to work on my freestyle, and I want to work on my air control. These maps can do that. A bunch of these maps got a little more popular than others, and people started trying to beat them as fast as possible. Thus, the speedrunning community was starting to build on these. They started to focus in on specific maps and say, we want to do this. Eventually expanded further than that, but some got more popular than others. And I think we're going to start off with a classic here. This is one of the ones that, at least for me and most people, have jumped into and tried this one. So this rings map is a focus on a specific skill in Rocket League. You notice there's no ball. We're looking at a lot of air control and just precise movement in the air. So Boney, walk us through what this showcases.
Yeah, so as you were kind of coming to a close, I just decided to start because the beginning doesn't have a whole lot. Coming up right here, we do have a jump that I have 1.5 seconds in order to use that flip. Otherwise, I will lose that flip. So if you're late, you're gonna have to recover. And the way this map is, it's short. It's the world record is 2:48. So if you mess up when you're going for a record, that's pretty much just an immediate reset. So yeah.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've hit the reset button just in any of these maps. For me, it's almost every 3 seconds because there's a flaw almost every 3 seconds. Like even going through the yellow rings is harder. But what's cool about this is it's a physics-based game, and you'll see a lot of physics mechanics come out. One specifically there, I like to point out is that flip that you just did going through. Anytime you flip while you're in the air, it cancels all vertical momentum. You're going to see that mechanic used through a lot of these different maps to make sure that the runners can stay on target and don't go flying off, because it's physics. It's a new physics that you're not used to, and if you've never played Rocket League, it'll be hard to really understand why it's hard. Jump into free play right now. Download the game. It's free to play. Go jump into training for 5 minutes.
Another flip that you hold on to for a lot longer, right? Anyways, yeah, I think we have a second where you can probably do a donation if you're good for that.
Hey, perfect. Got a CSGJ with a $100 donation. They say super hype for Rocket League. Let's get that 1 million. And everybody, we are less than $20,000 away from meeting 1 million and seeing ThundaSurge do his stuff with 50 balls. Let's get it happening, everybody.
All right, so that right there, if you want to explain, Leaf.
Yeah, so that was the a little bit of a pole bounce there. You can call it whatever. We've started calling it the little butt slap. Just bounce yourself off that. And what that does is instead of having to use your boost to change momentum, because it's physics, if you want to go the other way, you can't just press a button. You got to turn your car, boost the other way, but you're slowing down like a rocket would. And using that instantly kills your momentum and allows you to change trajectory really quickly. So getting that bounce just buys you a lot of time instead of having to slow down around that turn.
Yeah, and one thing that I've never, I don't think I've shared with anybody here is that I've timed that butt slap once like the safe way, and then I've also timed it with a perfect bounce, and then reset there because that recovery is not going to happen. But with a perfect bounce, with an average bounce, and I'd say compared to the safe strat, which would just be to fly normal, you typically save about a half second on that, but I've had some really good bounces that have saved possibly a second and a half or more, which when you see again this just under 3 minute run, it says 299, it's 259. The map timer sometimes shows 5s as 9s.
Very
so
good
yeah, thank you.
And I'd also like to include that a huge shout out to Calcor for a lot of the routing that went on with this.
Absolutely. Yeah, he pretty much invented the whole route. I did see in chat real quick that people wanted both me to pet my dog. Come here, bud. And his name is Banjo. For those that were asking.
All right, if we don't jump to 1 million after seeing Doggo on screen, then I'm going to be upset.
Hi, buddy. All right, can you get down? Thank you. Good boy. All right. Yeah, I think that's it from me. Shout outs to Leaf and Plum for the comms, and then also all of the other runners, and then my doubles partner Utmost Green. Yeah. Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah. So Boney, shout outs for showing us that. Looking forward to seeing you eventually beat that world record of yours in the future. It'll happen. It'll happen. But what's cool about this, we have a bunch of maps to get through, chat. That's not it. We're here for a bit. What we're doing is we're going through different maps that showcase different skills that you can develop in Rocket League to really showcase how mechanical this game is really getting. You're seeing it really push the competitive scene as well, and a lot of these players and the freestyling scene, and we get to see it here, of course, in the speed running scene. So we're going to try to jump to another skill, Plumato. This one's a little bit different coming up.
So this one's going to be the Dribble Challenge 2 map. It's any of you who have played it in the past, like probably pre-2019, you're probably not recognizing it a little bit. This is the overhaul version of it. What it did is fix a lot of QOL things, added skips that are easier to hit for getting to different levels and stuff, and it adds a better timer, night mode, stuff like that. Jimingo, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yeah.
And then introduce yourself.
My name is Jimingo. I'm going to be running the Dribble Challenge 2. So the main goal for this is... Oh, my bad. I'm Jimingo. I'm going to be running the Dribble Challenge 2, as Plumato said. So the main goal for this is the ball will fold through this track ground here, and we want to get it to the end of each level through the gate. And we want to get it through all of them since it's 100%. So I'm going to hit the timer here. I'm going to be doing a lot of flicks like that. I want to get the ball at the nose of my car to keep it as fast as I can. And I'm going to be going for some air dribbles as well, carrying the ball across if I can. Here's the first one.
So for anyone that's unaware, these air dribbling, especially straight off the ground, this is a skill that is probably going to take you a good couple hundred hours to even start developing. Again, it's something that's really hard to understand if you've never played the game before, because you've spent however old you are with the physics of the real world understanding that. You could throw a ball off the wall and catch it, no problem. But while close, the physics of Rocket League are a little bit different. And you have to get used to those. You have to understand it, and you don't have the three-dimensional space to work on. You're using a 2D screen. So it really changes how hard it is to develop a lot of these mechanics. Even just dribbling, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a very long time just to keep the ball on top of my car.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around when you first start, even just how to move in different directions. So,
and focus.
Yeah, the ball is very weird. Yeah,
that's one thing about
non-stop.
It's you're doing so many calculations at once, because you're not only controlling where your car's looking, you have your air roll, so you're spinning your car, your pitch, your yaw. It's like an airplane. You also have to control your momentum through the air and the ball's momentum, and the way the ball actually interacts on top of the car is really interesting. But what I do want to talk first about is this map in general. This is one of the first. At least from my perspective, one of the first maps that people really took off on. This was Dribbling Challenge 2, made popular, of course, by French Fries, and then credits to Digby and Martin as well. But this was one of the first community-made maps that took off, and people just I want to beat this, I want to beat this. And of course, everyone would do it. What you're doing is 100%, so he's going through every single level here and trying to beat it as fast as possible. There are a ton of skips. There's different categories for this. Plumato, if you want to touch on it a bit more about what those categories kind of look like, because I've seen some really crazy skips where you can just skip basically the entire thing.
Yeah, so originally there was like just two basic categories of like 100%, any percent. But the thing with any percent is there were so many different ways to beat the dribbling challenge, and there's some ways that you can beat it on the original map versus Overhaul, which Overhaul kind of defeats the underside of level 30 being completed by pitching the ball. So there's two kinds of pinches you could do. On the very first level, you could turn the ball around and pinch it off the starting platform, and it would pinch directly into the top, and that would be time. And then they, before they found that out though, they had level 12 pinch, where you'd make it to level 12 and do that exact same thing. Additionally, on level 16, where you kind of air dribble it up a little bit, people were able to air dribble it from there to level 27, skipping a lot of the map on that.
And of course, we haven't really been able to see it because he's so good, but if that ball touches the ground and goes through it, the ball cannot make contact. There's no hitbox, it falls straight through and it forces you to restart. So this isn't an arbitrary keep the ball up. If it falls, you can't complete the level. But what I do love again about these workshop maps is it showcases a lot of the creativity of the community, and the fact that we don't, there's no traditional speed running unless you want to speed run the just the career mode or the tutorial. We had to take that on ourselves because there's no real story mode or anything.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate. There's not much you can do there. Your wheel has a hitbox that can get caught.
And these maps kind of gave control to the community to start creating our own runs, trying to find our own ways through it.
Now, real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out to the 2 users on the leaderboard that have completed this with limited amount of boosts, meaning per level they use only 33 boosts to complete it. That would be the player Tallybird and also Holy Avocados. They are the only two that I've seen complete this with a limited amount of boost, which is completely insane and long.
That just went ahead of me there. I couldn't catch up to it.
This is
I'm
it.
trying to go behind this next gate here by skipping across.
Yeah, so instead of having to dribble around that big bend there, you just take it across the whole thing. But again, as we
Yeah,
said,
I think I will have to though. Yeah, it's quite a tough one. I had to come up with some weird ones for this event. Just why not? But I don't think I'll be able to get it. Also, this next one here is I also came up with just recently. I'm gonna try to dribble across here.
hey, we're here to showcase. Take the chances. Nice.
There we go. I'm
Beautiful.
gonna do another one. I'll try and land here.
Yeah, you got this. Oh, I jinxed it.
My
Commentator
computer
Chris.
started there.
That's a
I'll
nice.
just take it now.
It's a nice jump over, though. I mean, that kills a lot of time, and you see how much
Yeah.
min-maxing a lot of players will go through just to shave off a few seconds.
I'd like to mention as well, the current world record for this is by a user named Alexit. He has a 5:45 time, and then second place is pro player KDOP with a 5:51. So that's the level of
Yeah,
competition.
a lot of good players on this
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Oh, sorry, a 5:49. My bad.
And I think that's an important thing to note too, is that these, in addition to having an extra challenge of, hey, I can speed run this, it really does help with your your mechanics a lot, and that does translate. I mean, KDOP being in second place, a professional RLCS professional player, it shows that these skills do translate back and forth. So if you're ever looking and you have the Steam version, you definitely hop into these and try some of these out because there's some really fun ones out there.
I thought the wall might hit me there. I had a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, there's giant red walls. We'll take them out.
And that's a big thing. If you know, there's a start of level 13. Like there's a lot of moving parts, and that's the rest of the map is just moving parts all the time.
Yeah, we're at the last few levels here. So these are pretty standard. No more skips really.
Straightforward,
But they are pretty scary the first time you try this map.
Well, one of the things I was touching on before is the way the ball interacts with the top of the car. That if the ball just sits on top of your car, there's actually a point where it originates a forward force, an acceleration that gets applied to the ball. And if that ball is, that point is slightly back on the hitbox of the car, which is essentially just a rectangle. And if the ball gets too far in front, it starts applying more force, which forces the ball off the front of the car, which makes you go faster, which speeds up the ball. And it can get out of hand pretty quickly. And that's why you see back and
But
forth.
it is how you do it fast, how you dribble fast.
Yeah. And there's the final flick.
Flick it there. There we go.
Nice.
803, not too
8:03
bad.
isn't terrible, especially for a marathon run. That's really
Dude, here's the thing. It takes me 8 minutes just to get past like the first 3 levels.
yeah, all right. We don't need to talk about that though. Okay.
So again, yeah, these maps are really fun. Jimingo, how much time do you think you have in this maps alone?
Not too much, to be honest. I used it to learn how to dribble.
Yeah.
But like, it's now after coming back, being a better player, and just using the skills from Rocket League to speedrun the map now.
Yeah.
But it is one of the biggest tools it's so useful and fun to do when you're learning how to dribble and control your car. The ball.
Yeah, it really is. All right, well, that was the dribbling challenge number 2. So this one, again, we first saw the rings, which is a lot of air control. Then we saw this one here, dribbling challenge, which showcased, it was one of the earlier ones that showcased a lot of that dribbling. Really good, trust me. If you have the opportunity to try it out, do it, and maybe try to beat that world record. Not going to be easy, but try to beat that. But Jimingo, thanks for showcasing this map for us.
I do want to give an
Thanks for having
additional.
me.
I do want to give an additional shout out.
Yeah, I'd
to
like to shout
Impulse.
out Rocket League Ireland and Coral and everyone who I've met in Rocket League. They're the main communities that I'm around. I'm sure they're watching. So yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so Plumato, 2 maps down, 100 million more to go. Our next one is actually going to be a Lethemir showcase. I mentioned it before. Can you break down this one and who's doing the run?
Yeah, so our next runner is going to be Blaku. He's also a fellow moderator for a lot of Rocket League maps on the Speedrun website. He's going to be running through Neon Heights Rings, which is one of Lethemir's newer Rings maps, rather. And he's currently the record holder for it. Blaku, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself on that?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? My name's Blaku. I like flying through rings a lot. So we're going to be doing a lot of that for my showcase. And we'll go ahead and get started here. The first part of the map's pretty straightforward with what you want to do. Very tight lines that you want to take, just efficient flying. Nothing too fancy to do yet, but we will get to some more interesting stuff soon.
And I just want to immediately say, too, this is what I love. Is so earlier on we saw Boney go for a bit more of a straightforward approach. There was no spinning. I think a lot of people that haven't played are going to say, okay, is this spinning adding anything? Maybe sort of on being able to turn faster, but a lot of this is showing off, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really add anything. I do like doing it. It's pretty fun. It keeps me engaged a little bit more too, because it's a lot of straight flying. Gives me something to do during the time. But once you do it a lot, it's not too bad.
I do want to ask, do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Plumato. We got ourselves a $25 donation from Draco. They say in Rocket League, when you what a save your opponents, it is a way to make them tilt and win the game. So help us donate so we can make cancer leave the game once and for all by spamming what a save. Thank you so much, Draco. And we are less than $17,000 to meet that 1 million. If y'all were waiting for the final push out there, this is it. Get those donations in, get those trains rolling. Let's reach that million and let's see that 50 goal incentive.
I do like the call from chat here that spinning adds Reddit upvotes. That is very true.
That is true. But we just had two of the... Ooh, that is not good. It's fine.
That's
It's
right,
actually part of the run. What you want to do?
Yeah. It's actually world record strat to do that. Little butt slap there.
Yeah, we did see a successful booty bump off one of the poles before, which is hard because, again, if you catch that back of the car off that angle just wrong, that sends your car down, it sends it up, it sends it in a way that you don't want. And recovering, again, because physics-based, is a lot harder than maybe it can look if you've never tried this game before. Another shout-out, please. Game is free. Go out there, try it, and if you think this, you could do better than these guys, get in there and try it. I challenge you.
If I can interject on that too, real quick, I want to make sure it's known that you can play these on the Epic Games version. A modification to the game, yeah, using something called Bacchus mod. You can actually download the maps through some plugins, like there's a workshop map downloader and stuff like that, which make it super simple. And there's plenty of helpful tutorials in the community for workshop maps is also super helpful with that as well. So definitely, if you're interested in doing these maps, maybe playing them with your friends, like check out the workshop community. They're very, very good at what they do.
Now, did you get a flip reset off that?
I did, yeah.
So, do you want to explain what happened there?
Yeah, so I hit a surface in Rocket League. If all four of your wheels touch a surface and then you leave without jumping, you will maintain your flip, and that 1.5 second timer doesn't matter at all. You'll keep your flip indefinitely. And so by hitting different surfaces in this, I can pick up flips and keep it as long as I want and use them in strategic places to save me a little bit of time.
Yeah, so traditionally flipping in this game, you get a jump and a second jump. That second jump has a timer of 1.5 seconds. But falling off a surface, being bumped into the air, as long as you make it into the air without jumping off of that surface initially, you keep your jump indefinitely. And using that jump I explained before, but it kills all vertical momentum. So if you're ever falling too fast or going up high too fast, you can use that to make sure you get back onto a trajectory that you like to go. But again, figuring out how that works and how you interact and put that into a run or even to your standard game of Rocket League can take a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of trial and error in these maps. You see a new line, so you'll test it out for a bit, see if it's faster, and then 3 days later you'll find something else faster and completely forget that old strat.
I will say, if anyone is interested in learning anything about physics and how the game works and stuff like that, there is a YouTuber named Halfway Dead, I believe, and he does rocket science videos. He breaks down all the physics, how the car hitboxes work, how hitboxes look on each cars, where the tires are in relative to the hitbox, everything you need to know and want to know. He will tell you exactly how, including how controllers affect input delay and stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff.
What's cool is, again, we're using this as a warm-up for Blaku, because Blaku's got a few more maps coming up.
And we get to make
here.
him suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got that Panics Air Race hard mode, yes.
Yeah,
That is, you guys are in for a treat.
I think this, again, is a reminder of, okay, this is kind of straightforward of what you can make when it comes to an aerial style map. But when we get to those air races, you'll really see how it can push a lot of these mechanics that we've been talking about, and a lot, not just every once in a while. You'll see those mechanics happen often.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of variety in those maps. Really showcase a lot. We're going to be doing something interesting here. I call it the Draco Pop. Draco's the one that kind of found this strategy of ramming your car into a ring to keep your flip. Yep. We'll be using one there and also on the last level as well.
So right now, you still have your jump because you came off the surface without intentionally jumping.
I do, and I'll be using it right there to cancel the momentum and carry me in the direction I want to keep going in. That's a very tight jump to make, precise. But once you learn the line, it's not too bad to go for.
So, Blaku, did you make all of these strats and all this route yourself?
Not all of them. It's a combination of me, Draco, and Calcor. Probably about half
Calcor again.
Calcor is, he's going to be a name we're going to mention again later.
Yeah,
but he made a lot of the ring bounces. He's super good at those. Draco has a lot of the pure flying lines. Super efficient with his flying in the air and the lines that he takes. And I like doing the flips. So that last flip was a strategy that I made for that level. But the actual Draco Pop was first used on the last level. And we're coming up to that soon. I have one more level before we get there. But this next one's just going to be a efficient flying section. Keep it tight. Don't make any mistakes.
That's easier said than done.
Do we have time for another donation?
Let's read it.
Absolutely. We got ourselves a donation from our host fan, Bruto Mello, coming in with a big money $15 donation. He said, I heard make good jumps. I see good jumps being made. Coincidence? I think not. I want to see more in Rocket League later. And later is fast approaching to be now, because we are almost approaching $15,000 remaining. We're at 984,000, about 500 and change. We need to get that up. We need to get that going, because we're not going to have much showcase left, everybody. So let's get those donations in.
And just a reminder, when we hit 1 million, we get an additional Rocket League map showcase, which is a training pack filled with 50 balls, and you have to score all 50.
Scoring in Rocket League is one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in life, and that is just pure scoring. Trust me, it is a very, very satisfying conclusion to 1 million donated.
We're coming up upon that giant ring at the end is the final ring, and
that's where the run will end.
Yeah.
We'll hop over to our
841.
Our next map's not a bad time.
Real quick before you start that one, I do have a request from Draco. He does want me to say that he is really thankful for all that GDQ is doing, as he did recently lose his grandmother to cancer yesterday. So he can't thank GDQ enough for what they're doing. And neither can I.
Love your favorite heart emotes out in chat right now. for Draco and the family and anyone else who's gone through it. Let's keep those donos coming. Let's make sure we can fight this together.
Yeah, this run is going to be for Draco.
And let me explain what this map is for you, because I can at least do that. While you explain what's going on, I can at least explain what this map is. Okay. So this map is called Spaghetti Racing. Simple Shark, as you can see on the left side there, he does have his Twitter handle there. Simple Shark, he's a famous map maker in this community. At least to me, he is. He's made a lot of fun maps and all that stuff. He made this map with the intention that it is, if you look at it, it's literally spaghetti. It's just spaghetti noodles all thrown into a dish. So your goal is to get, at a bare minimum, 195 out of 200 checkpoints. Now, with that comes additional routing. Now, you would think, like, oh, you're supposed to just drive forward.
Drive along it, yeah.
Yeah, well, no. Blaku's going to show you exactly how you're supposed to run it if you...
Yeah, I'm going to show you the intended way to play the map.
The intended Blaku way. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, this is just madness. And Blaku, do you hold the world record on this one as well?
I do, yes. He had a competition for it for 2 weeks, so you could get the fastest time. Had a lot of fun routing during that time period, and I've been holding the world record since then as well. It's a bit daunting to get into. There's a lot going on, a lot to memorize.
I think that's the biggest thing here is the memorization on this. Like, how do you know which flags you've already tagged, which ones you haven't tagged, and you just have to remember. There's no indication, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's got to be all by memory of what you're doing, and it takes a bit of time. Certainly, I've done a lot of runs of this map. A lot of testing with different routes and stuff. This is actually the 11th version of my route. I started with the intended way of flying through here. It does form one continuous loop with all the gates to fly through. And the annoying thing is some of them do have hitboxes and some of them don't. It's fine. We got some backup gates to get later.
Wait, so you have to remember which ones have hitboxes and which ones don't, in addition to remembering the route, in addition to remembering which ones you've tagged?
Yes.
Okay.
So this one right here does have a hitbox, so we gotta slow down a bit to get through it. Some of them, I don't know if they have a hitbox or not. I just fly through them cleanly and hope that they don't if I do hit it. But for most of them, I know.
I feel like this is like, you don't need to know Rocket League, just understand how insane this is, just from a memory perspective.
I will want to say as well, Blaku is insanely good at memorizing. There's a maze map that was released not that long ago. He memorized every single turn you need to take and beat it in like 2 minutes, because it's a very lengthy map, but he just happens to remember every single turn.
I don't know what it is. I just take a little bit of joy in doing stuff like that.
Honestly, it's very satisfying watching how smoothly it's almost as satisfying as like watching the Trackmania courses, how, having a car smoothly land to carry momentum across. So this is the closest thing I think we're going to get to Trackmania in Rocket League, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, another note to make is the colors on these gates. The red side is the backwards direction for the intended, and the green side is where you're supposed to be going through it. And I haven't counted it up to see how much we take backwards and how much we take forwards, but I'm guessing it's an even mix of the two.
Don't look to me for help. I have no idea.
I'm depending on you. You gotta tell me what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on. I just see lines everywhere. You're this way and that. I don't know if you've already been over to this side of the map. I can't tell any landmarks. Have you segmented any of this, like, into landmarks, or have you just taken the whole thing as one piece and
I have general idea of these things. Like, this is the loop-de-loop. I know where this is. There's other things in the map that are more distinct, but I think it's more of the gates that I remember and the routes. But I don't know. It just comes with a lot of time being in there. Go for it.
Actually, we.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Well, I get to read it again. We got $15 from J. Jonas Jameson saying, "That's not Spider-Man flying through the city. That's a car. Bring me more pictures of rocket cars." So I didn't hit better the second time, but we have less than we have almost $13,000 remaining to get to 1 million. And seeing that incentive. All right, we got ourselves $50 from Banjo. No, we have $50 for Banjo from Dianis.
Ooh.
Saying $50 for Banjo, who is clearly a very good doggo. Yeah, Boney, your dog is very popular. We've also got Slickify with a $5 donation. Said 50 balls, 50. I gotta see this. Oh, you're definitely gonna do it, chat. Let's get it in. And we also have B. Seamus with $5. We have B. Seamus with $5
if not for this,
saying,
do it for Doggo.
"Oh, absolute doggo hype." We got V. Seamus with $5 saying $5. What a save train. How about that? Let's get some what a saves up in chat. Let's get them up on my donations. Let's see that 1 million, everybody.
Yep. Let's get that. I mean, here, if we're gonna hit the 1 million, why not unlock a little extra Rocket League? Trust me, it is the most satisfying thing.
I was about to say, as someone who talks about Rocket League all the time, yeah, more Rocket League is never a bad thing. It's always been good.
Yeah, we've also got
Especially,
$50 from Gallium and Timonide with a Rocket League haiku. They say, "I am blown away. How do they have such control? Flying cars are hype. Good luck on the run." Blaku's doing amazing here. I'm just astounded seeing the spaghetti just going through my brain, and also seeing that donation total skyrocket. We are nearly at $988,000. Everybody, let's keep it moving.
12,000 more, let's go!
And for Blaku, is your brain mush yet?
I'm a bit focused.
I think he's got, he's getting marinara on it right now.
There is
Parmesan.
we're gonna have to do a slight backup strat. I don't think anybody would know this but me, but I did miss one gate. So
did you?
I did miss one gate.
Can you tell us where that is, actually?
Yeah, I think it was like the 22nd one. I'm gonna pick up this one right
Oh,
here.
yeah, of course. I know exactly which one that is.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Well, we'll just pick up that one, and then we're good to go. And we'll just continue on the route as everybody knows where we should be going.
Oh, yes, we're going through the...
You could have said nothing, and we'd have been none the wiser.
It was all I could think about is where am I going to pick up this extra gate?
Yeah. Because you do have a 5-gate buffer, right?
Yes. And that is nice for small little backup strats if I happen to miss one.
12K to go, everybody. Let's keep this going, everybody.
I think we can do it.
Oh, you don't think? We know. We know we can do it.
By the way, real quick, I just want to say this out there too. If anyone is interested in learning how to make these kinds of maps, especially after this showcase, like, there is a Discord that's made for learning how to do so, and Simple Shark himself, the creator of this map, has a large playlist full of how to set everything up, get everything started, and create your own stuff. And additionally, if you do make it where you want it to be speedran, definitely reach out to me as I can add that to the website and get you a leaderboard started.
Yeah, I love seeing the creativities from some of these maps. Again, a few more after this. Yeah, this one shows you what happens when you're unhinged. But some of the other ones that we've seen, again, just how they can showcase different skills. We haven't even hit all of them. Some of the ones we have coming up from Thunda later on to showcase even different skills. We have ones that are just fun little mini games. Some of the creative stuff we've seen from these workshops are incredible. Again, if you don't have the game and you want to understand how difficult some of this is or how fun some of these maps are, you need to go download it. The game is free to play. Rocket League is free to play. You need to get in it and try for 5 minutes. Trust me, you're not going to stop.
or at least until you own goal, and then you go, man, and then you're not gonna stop because you want to redeem yourself.
You're not going to stop because an own goal isn't inevitable. You will never stop own goaling throughout your career.
Yeah, that never ends.
$11,000 remaining, everybody. Come on. Let's make this million happen.
Woo! And we got a whole 25 more minutes, I believe, of content, roughly, because we got the one incentive hit, which that'll add more time, and then if we can hit that next one, we'll get more Rocket League, and that's what we want: more Rocket League and GDQ, and $1 million.
The best time to make that happen, everybody, is right now. GamesDoneQuick.com. Donate. Go ahead and do it. Tell a friend. Let's get that million in.
Now, one thing quickly here, too. Another mechanic we haven't talked about that I'm sure has been used a few times. But, of course, when your wheels touch the ground and you're facing a different direction, there's a lot of traction. So you can use that for very quick turnarounds. We're seeing that a lot here. But drifting as well is another thing. You can let your car slide. Do you use that all in this map at all?
There are a couple turns that I use drifting for. It's not many. I do slightly drift there. It's usually in short spurts, just for a little bit finer control.
Oh, hey, I noticed you're on 195 now. Oh, hey, look, the finish line's right there.
That's
that
crazy.
That's weird. You started there, and then you ended there. Okay.
It's like he planned the whole route here. 10:20.
In fact,
Plum
did you
actually
even go
just
through
gave
the
me that
entire
route
map?
to run.
Did you, it felt like you were driving in circles there.
This was a new route that you just.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
That was the joke.
Well, kind of, because you missed one, but.
I guess,
no,
yeah,
actually,
it
you
wasn't.
know what? Yeah, you're right. It was a new route. You missed one.
That was a
You
new
missed
route.
one,
Yeah,
and-
it's true. Now we're on to the fun stuff. This is the beginning for the incentive to build up to it. This is the regular Panic Series. And there is a strat in the beginning. I will attempt a couple times. It's called Fast Start, where if you can get a perfect flip cancel into that bottom ring right there, it sends you upwards with a lot of momentum, but it is very hard to line up, and I'm just gonna do a normal start now.
For anyone out there wondering what a flip cancel is, basically in Rocket League you have a flip and there's an animation where your car does a flip and it completes that flip. But if you hit the other direction that you flipped very quickly, forward or back, you can cancel that animation. You have to hold it for the duration that animation would have run, but you can cancel your car actually spinning around. There's a bunch of reasons for that, but especially in this, you saw that pole jump would have been very useful to hit.
I want to mention what he just did right there and what he's doing right here. That's called a gate jump, and that is a very crucial thing in this kind of map because that easily changes your direction and gives you a better momentum coming out of it. As you see there, he's able to quickly go and change direction and continue running through it.
I mean, to show how fast it is. So, and he also did another mechanic in there where he got his flip reset back off one of those poles too, in the middle.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah, by the way. So the mechanical showcase of this map, and especially as him being, I believe, 4th place on the leaderboards. Yeah, 4th place on the leaderboards. He's definitely one of the top runners of this map, and this map has gotten a little bit more traction than a lot of other maps. I'd say it's possibly more known than Dribble Challenge 2 just because of how much it was advertised and the success that it's gotten. But right here, what he's doing, if you notice, he just kind of skipped half of those rings. What you can do here is the map remembers how many rings you've gone through, and it keeps a count. Once he goes through those rings on the right side and just goes through and touches the checkpoint, the map also remembers that he touched that checkpoint. So when he gets reset back because he doesn't have the right amount of rings, he just goes through those rings that he missed. He dies and then automatically gets put to the next part of the level, which is
it's faster to reset.
Yeah, it's faster to reset on that specific part.
Everyone, we are less than $5,000 away from winning 1 million. Let's go!
Ooh. Hey, let's do it for hard mode. Even though we got hard mode, let's do it again.
Yeah, we better get hyped for hard mode. We're coming up to it soon.
Yeah, so basically this is already a phenomenal map. I mean, shout out even just to Panic for like this. It just looks great too. Like this is satisfying to watch. But it already looks hard enough. You've already guys have found really extreme, fun routes that are optimized. And you said that's not good enough.
No, we want to. Yes, I did make a harder one that would challenge even the best player. Wanted it to be very technical, very precise in the things that you had to do, utilizing your flips well, handling your momentum, tight supersonic lines, which is something that would be a real challenge for people to try and do as we finish the regular mode.
I do want to mention real quick, you saw that he went through the tiny rings instead of going up and over in the big rings. That's a shortcut that the map has coded into it so that he can take the shortcut, which is a lot harder, and save time by doing it, and which he did, so.
Yeah, done perfectly, it saves about 7 seconds, but that's very hard, very precise.
All right, well, before we get into this, so this is the hard one. You decided you wanted to make a harder map, so you got into it, and you amped this up. Before that, I want to know how close we are, because we got to keep that energy moving. How close are we right now, Iggy?
Gentlemen, before you start the hard mode map, let's just give it one brief moment. Less than $100 away, everybody.
Come on, hold on. Before you start, come on.
Everybody,
we're almost there.
I have an announcement to make.
What's happening?
We have reached $1 times $1 million. $1 million raised for the
$1 million. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, so much for your generosity, for making this happen. ThundaSurge, get ready to score some goals. And Blaku, my man, this hard one is yours. Let's see it. Woo!
Yeah, we're going to crush the hard mode for the $1 million. This beginning is actually mirrored from the last one. So going for fast start on it is not really a viable thing for me. It's very weird to do. And I will be very focused for this run. Coming through here. There's a lot of things I got to focus on and do correctly.
Hey, that's fair. We're still riding off the hype of that 1 mil. So you use that momentum, you carry it through.
I do want to mention real quick, if you did notice, the slaloms he did at the beginning were actually reversed. Mm-hmm. Just to throw it off if anyone's used to the original map.
To get rid of the muscle memory. And another flip reset off a pole there. And this would be so confusing for me, I wouldn't have no idea where to go. I can't even imagine, because those the actual air races that go through these too. Like, I just can't understand how pilots keep their heads straight.
I don't think it's as chaotic as this.
They don't have giant rings to go through, that's for sure.
But Blaku, how long did it take for you to make this?
I'd say like 100 hours probably. It was a bit of an experiment learning how to do map making as well. So there was definitely a lot of learning going on in the process.
What I do love is those little trip ups that you see.
Look at
just
that
to show
recovery.
how much one single mistake can mess you up and how perfect you have to be on a lot of these maps. And especially then playing these maps against other players too.
So if you notice there, he's flying directly back to the spot where he missed, because once again, this map does remember where you've left off at. So you can just skip right to the part instead of having to do everything all over again, which is especially great for saving time when you mess up. Or I guess it doesn't save time when you mess up, but I mean, you don't have to.
Don't mess up.
Yeah, just don't mess up.
Look at this. Now we're wave racing. This isn't an air race anymore.
Yeah, I really love that
in the
section of the map.
N64?
Very satisfying to do.
Oh, and this is satisfying to watch. I love how you air roll back the other way, too. This car's not doing that. He's pressing multiple buttons to get himself back and forth, even the way his car is facing there. Super fun.
Now,
Love the mechanics in this
I do want to mention there's a couple of different ways to air roll. By that I mean you have regular air roll, which is you hold the button and use your left stick to turn or air roll left and right. And then there's two different ways, which is having air roll left and air roll right, or just one of them, whichever you prefer. I personally use only one of them, but Blaku, I believe you use both air roll left and air roll right. So
yes, that's correct.
which gives you I believe, a lot more control over your car in comparison to regular air roll.
I believe it does. I haven't ever used normal air roll. Always just used the 2.
But what I mean by that
did.
is you can still move your car left and right without air rolling, and also air roll at the same time, which can be
yes, true.
considered a tornado spin, is what they call it, because it looks like a tornado.
I think at this point, with all the focus going on, I don't know if we want to ride off that hype. You know, we've hit that mill right now. I don't know if Iggy, if you want to shout out some of the people that helped us get there with those donos.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Leaf. We got plenty of donations. I want to thank many of the folks that got us there along the way. We have Evan Source Rex with $250. They say, hey, AGDQ, Studio Tech Crew here. We're so close to 1 million. You can do it. Also, did you notice the nifty speaking indicators on the runners and commentators? Yes, we did.
No way.
We finally noticed it. Thank you, Evan, you absolute cutie.
Oh, they are
We also
there.
have $5.40 from Bucky J40. They say, imagine being the guy in the car with all these flips and loops going on. I would be sick in a second. Great job so far, runners. Keep up the great work. 1 million hype. Now, let me
Real
get one
quick,
more in.
it's an egg in the car that's driving, not a person.
If you want my lore, it absolutely is not, but we're not going to get into that. That's a rabbit hole we're not going down.
Okay, go ahead, Icky.
Yeah, let me get one more in for y'all. $100 for Rocket Plebe, saying 1 hundo for the puppo. Thank you very much.
Woo! Shoutouts to Boney's dog. Let's go, Benjo.
That's one thing I always say. If someone's like, is it okay if my pet comes on screen? I'm like, absolutely. If you have the opportunity to have your pet come on screen when you're doing a run, you do it. You play to those heartstrings.
No, if you notice here, there's a lot more. There's a lot more small rings coming up, and you're no longer using them as an option. It is now a necessity. You have to go through them.
We're going off script a little bit here. This is a backup strat. Same idea of picking up rings beforehand. So we're just gonna pick this stuff up, and then we'll do an intentional death later to skip that. Save a little bit of time at the end instead of flying through it again.
In other words, Blaku's just doing the thing where he becomes spaghetti and memorizes paths. So it's confusing to us too. Don't worry. He doesn't tell us his secrets. He keeps them to himself.
Amount of air travel, and like this too, driving backwards or flying backwards is just a nuts amount of spatial awareness that you have to have.
So here's going to be the intentional death, and then we can come straight over here because we've already picked up the rings for the rest of it. Continue.
Hey, so I see that says dodgy shortcut. Where's the shortcut?
The whole thing's a shortcut, you know? The rest of the map was taken out, and that ring is painful. It's the killer of runs right there, right by the water. She only got a hit
I will
once.
mention, I've speedrun this myself, and I got a sub 10-minute time, and I'm never going to run it again. I just want you to know that, Blaku. I'm never touching this again.
Try.
I highly recommend everybody try.
Do you want me to lose my mind?
I do. That's the goal.
Okay.
But that's hard mode. A lot more intense.
Hard mode. Okay. Six.
And with that, that is
6:51. Your record on that is.
My record is just
5.
under 6 minutes.
6.
Oh, you got any shout-outs, Blaku? Anyone you want to?
Yeah, I'll
mention?
throw out another shout out to Draco. Definitely been a big inspiration for everything I do with speedrunning. Calcor, old name. Frank and Oscar always being there, and of course my parents. Always supporting me in everything I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for showcasing these maps and just the drive, the fact that you had a map and you're like, this needs to be even harder, and you went in and you made it. It's a good example that anybody can jump in and make these maps. More maps we have in the community, the better. Arguably the harder they are, the better for you guys. I like the easy ones that make me feel good. But these were a great showcase of Blaku's incredible memory skills and air control skills. but now we need to switch things up just a little bit. Plumato, this is going to take a bit of a different turn.
Okay, so now that we've seen what we can do with boost, let's see what we can do without boost. And we're going to segue ourselves into what is called Lethamir's Egyptian Tomb. And the intentional way that it was meant to be played was to be played without boost at all. There are categories where people play it with boost, which are pretty fun to watch, but what's even more fun to watch is how insane ThundaSurge is going to be when he shows us how to do this with no boost. Go ahead, ThundaSurge.
Yeah, and I'm assuming I'm live, so I'm ThundaSurge.
Yeah.
I'm the parkour guy on the speedrun.com website. I think I've ran everything that's listed, some better than others, but just as Plum said, we will go through and go to our control bindings. And just to prove that I will not be using boost, it is completely unbinded. I can no longer boost.
Question for you then. So because of that, obviously there's other mechanics that you have to employ while doing this run. Can you quickly just refresh people what they're going to see? Because this happens fast.
Yes.
So what are the mechanics in Rocket League that you're going to be exploiting here to get this good run?
So the main mechanics in Rocket League that I will be exploiting is the second and a half jump to flip time. So once you jump, you have a second and a half to flip. You can maximize distance by delaying that flip when you have speed, so you can extend the length of your jump. Also, you can just quickly double jump to get more height. That's not going to be as much in the any percent. Definitely, whenever you touch a surface like a wall, as such here, you get your jump and flip back. You can jump off the wall and flip again, so we can get some height and then get some distance. We'll use that once. Wave dashes, which haven't been talked about too much, is when you flip into the ground and you gain a little bit of speed. There's one spot at the beginning we use that to keep supersonic. But for the most part, it's just make sure you land with your wheels, because if you land upside down, you're going to keep on skidding forwards and you're not going to be able to turn for your next jump. And I'm going to let Leaf and Plum do a lot of the talking during the run, because I'm going to focus. Because there's going to be, if I mess something up, I either fall into the lava and respawn back here and have to take a checkpoint, or I'll have to do some type of backup strat where I have to climb something that is different.
All right,
So how fast should this run be?
World record is 59 seconds. Ideally, a no death run can be anywhere from that to like a minute 20, depending on how many backups you have to do. If I get anything sub 2 minutes, I'll be happy, because a death can add a lot of time. So
it's great, because Lethamir's in chat. I'm very curious if he ever thought people would be running this in under a minute.
I tried for, I think it was 6 months ago, I hit a minute and I didn't break it, and then I was a little bit sad, and took 6 months off from the map. And then before GDQ, I came back a month ago and got the sub minute. So, but
brilliant.
I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
all right, so I want to mention the first thing he's going to do is he's going to jump off of this pot right here. It's going to give him enough height to get above and get to the next spot up here. Instead of having to go through the map normally, he can just kind of skip a lot of it by using the jump mechanics and momentum. And by default, he would rather not get any checkpoints. However, this is one checkpoint that you're kind of forced to get. He's going to use this wall right here to flip off, and he's going to go ahead and jump over here. There is a safety strat on that Sphinx right there. He can use it as he did right here to get the third checkpoint. This is in case he dies. Yeah, the flip reset, and then he's gonna have that checkpoint in case he dies. As you can see, he's tilting his car using a neutral jump. So where that's a dodge right there, he's sometimes using it without dodge to give himself more speed and direction and where he's going.
And deaths do happen, so we hope for the best, but sometimes they're inevitable.
And a lot of this
is inevitable.
a lot of this is definitely based on the momentum of your car. If your momentum is going one direction, without boost, it is very hard to change that. So every single movement is kind of based on what direction your car is facing and where it's going, because once it's going, it doesn't stop going. And speaking of doesn't stop going, we're approaching the final part of this map. He got it, and then that's it. That's the map. sub
So
2
I'm
minutes.
proud of that one. I only won death. I mean, that death added like 20 seconds maybe, so I'll take it.
Now, before, since you beat it so fast, there were some other jumps that you were showing me that before when we were rehearsing this. I don't know if those are worth showing out. There was, I forget specifically what it was, but there's something to do with, I think something with the statue there, but I don't know if that's...
So one of the jumps is you can land up here. I'm not going to spend too much time so we can keep the marathon moving, but I mean, like, you can land up on the pillar. There's another one called super jump, which used to be in the minute world record. That's no longer in the 59 second. You can jump from this pot and get enough height to actually make it to the area with the first checkpoint. It's like a 1 in 100 jump for me, so that's why I didn't do that one.
Not worth it.
Not worth it at all. But yeah, then there's a faster strat at the end that I won't get to show off, but you can go, I went to the left of the casket in the center of the final room. You can go to the right side and do a series of flips to keep supersonic through the entire last room. That saves a lot of time too, and that's how I broke a minute. But
That's wild.
yeah, so I can move on to the next map. This one is a bit different.
This one almost to me feels like traditional speedrunning, because like you're going to be doing stuff that I'm like, oh, when I watch someone speedrunning and trying to beat a game as fast as possible, I see some of this stuff in it.
Yeah, and just ahead of time, this map is called Rocket Lab's Escape Game. It is designed after an escape room. So we're gonna do as much as we can to escape as fast as we can. So.
And as you can see, the map creator there, Craze Patate, he's done a lot for this. He added a speedrun timer, which you'll see as soon as, and time starts as soon as it goes. He inputs the first code, which is 50-50, which you're given. And every code is predetermined, except for one code, and that's one that we're never going to have to worry about. So go ahead.
Yep, I'll go ahead. And since there's a lot of extra interactables in this map, he had to bind something so you can like open doors. So if you press the scoreboard button, which would normally show the scoreboard, in this map, it will actually let you do things that are custom to this map only. And what I did there was enter the code to the locker to grab a battery. You can see the icon on the bottom. The batteries are important because there's 4 in the map. You deliver them there and they open these mystery doors to get power-ups. And I'll show this power-up real quick. So this turns you into a box, but when we go in here and reset, we can no longer be the box. This respawn actually saves time in the speedrun.
And as you see on the right side there is still a timer because the game still thinks he's a box, so he's able to walk into or rather drive into the next room without having to get stopped.
Yeah, and now I have a second battery, so this battery is supposed to be the last one you grab in the map. In any percent, we only grab 2 batteries, and because the lift power-up is the most broken power-up in the map, and I will demonstrate here in a bit why.
That's a very strong car.
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't get crushed.
You've been working out. Okay, so I love this part.
So what he's doing there is he's building up speed and he's using the box to get himself clipped into the room. There's a couple of other doors you can clip into. Unfortunately, you do need this specific ball that he's getting right now in order to complete the map. So that's the only clip you do need to do for any percent.
Yeah, and here I'm controlling the ball. This section's pretty simple to understand, so if you wanted to read a donation, you can go.
Yeah, fantastic. I've got myself a $100 donation from Gogby. They say hello to the workshop runners from the entire Season Mode mod team. The Season Mode mods would like to highlight Plumato for all the work he's put in this community. He's really polished up the entire scene to clean shine. And as a quick bonus challenge for the runners, I will donate another $100 if you manage to implement a flip reset into the run. Hope you guys have an incredible run. So proud of you guys for making it into GDQ. Is there still time for that?
I think there is. Yeah, I think we got a few of flip resets actually. I think there's a couple of them throughout the different runs there.
More generosity. Let's go.
All right, this is what I do love about these little things is it's showing what you can actually do in Rocket League. Like you think it's just hitting a ball. Now you're controlling a 2-dimensional maze puzzle with your car and your inputs. So some of these workshop creators are getting so creative. And again, there's so many people to shout out, but it's just crazy what they're coming up with.
Yeah, and this is one of the more unique concepts. It's the only one of its kind right now.
There is a second one that he's trying to make, but it's a long work in progress.
Yeah, and I think it took him over a year to make this one. I think this was a pretty involved project. You know, just all the custom coding things you have to do just to even get this to work. But we're on to the final section here. And the last objective is to take this ball to the end of the map. I'm not Jimingo.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, I'm not Jimingo, so we'll do our best.
Oh, no, you can dribble it like him.
Well, he has
Dribble it on the
boost.
floor.
I don't have boost right now.
That's true. You don't have boost. That does make it a little more difficult. And I wanted to know too, with that door skip before it, is there any difference in how successful that is depending on what hitbox the car you're using, or does not really matter?
Yes, that's a very important part of it. So everybody loves Octane, think it's the best car. This map, nope, you can't really use it for door clip. It takes too long, so Octane mains are probably really sad. Same with Merc. The Merc box is too tall.
Bro, congratulations on reaching Supersonic Legend.
Oh yeah, this is, if anybody wants to get a Supersonic Legend title, this is the easiest one to get in the game, so. And it gives you a little badge too.
As I've said before, I think the easiest one is still Rumble if Gibbs has gotten it.
Yeah. Fun fact before I leave, I did notice this when I was testing it the other day. If I can get the camera working. I don't know if I can. There's actually 3 other Supersonic Legend badges hidden in the ceiling.
Chaos?
Triple Supersonic Legend.
Ranked Chaos confirmed?
I can't get a good angle on
I
it.
saw for a second. It was up
Yeah,
there.
there's like a white pixel on there, but there's 3 of them. I somehow had a better angle earlier today. But that actually brings us to the final map.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
that's our.
we
unlocked this. Yeah.
Yeah, we unlocked this map. Chat, you unlocked this map by getting us to that 1 million. So I think it's just appropriate to take another quick second to thank people. I really think it's important that we do this, keep thanking people. But this is the one you guys unlocked. This is the one I think satisfying. But Iggy, let's, who helped us get us there?
Thank you, Leaf. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's shout out Armadillo64 with a $27 donation. They say simply, shout out to the car with the screaming, spinning, extremely dizzy man inside. Thank you so much. We've also got Quinn with a $25 donation, said, watching Rocket League, and I thought this was about cars playing soccer, and I'm getting an amazing flight simulator instead. I know. Thank you. Let's get one more before we get this showcase in. Got Nova Bear with a $150 donation. They said, had to donate during Rocket League, which is my most played game ever, with a few thousand hours invested. Hopefully many more hours to come. Let's get that incentive. We did, and we shall. So ThundaSurge, it's all yours, my friend.
Okay, so as you can see, this is not normal training. There happens to be 50 balls, and the best part of it is any console can play this speedrun. It's not PC exclusive since it's a training pack. If you can get the code, it should be out there online if you just search for it. I know Rocket Sledge, shout out to him. He had done a competition for this in August where he had a prize for it, and that's where I found the map, through his channel. So he introduced this map to me, and now it's in GDQ.
And I'm what's the goal here? It seems it's very confused.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
So you're supposed to hit these balls into this net right here. Not the other one, but the orange one. And there's one glitch with the map because you're not supposed to have 50 balls. If you put a ball in the net and you don't touch it, it doesn't explode like it's supposed to. And if you touch it inside the net, it glitches out the game and makes a really loud sound. So you don't want to do that.
Let's save people's ears.
Yeah. But we have to show it off once. But without further ado, I will start. It's not about power, it's about precision.
Precision. Oh, look at this little tippy. Just tap it in. Just tap it in.
And another shout out to King Sully. He has the world record for this at 109.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you didn't go over it, yeah, there's plenty of ideas on how to do this. Thunda and King Sully were probably the only ones that really did it like this before they posted about it. They kind of kept it secret for a good reason. it was a contest. But obviously the trick is out there, and you get to hear the explosions of balls scoring.
Oh, it's just so
50 times.
satisfying.
Yeah.
Ignore the ones I missed.
We'll get those
just
later.
forget about those. Pretend they went in.
And these are the toughest to get in, by the way, because you're like the farthest away, and it's the hardest to get the angle. So we kind of gonna encourage them.
Help them out a little bit.
Come on, get in your home.
Of course.
Get in there.
You know, as you would say, you know, playing online, get in your home.
Get in your hole. I don't know, it's just so satisfying hearing all these explosions. Scoring in Rocket League is one of the greatest things I think is out there. Yeah, no, I could say it's probably the greatest thing. Or going for a 6 shot and accidentally blocking your teammates.
Yeah, that,
easy shot.
Guilty for that. I did that the other day, actually. He got this insane ground pinch, and I was trying to finish it, and I didn't realize he had the angle, and well, I cut him off. So if anyone that's
Look at all these.
lower ranked, yes, that does happen in Grand Champion still. So
Look at these boops.
Yeah.
Look at all these boops.
And the final goal will be the actual goal explosion I've equipped, which is party time. And I want to.
hooray! And that's time.
And I want to thank everybody for donating for that. Each one of those balls costed you $20,000. They're pretty expensive.
Those are the most expensive goals ever. That was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, what I love about that, you said it too, anybody can get that one there. So if you guys think that you're like, oh, that was sloppy, go beat the time.
Yeah.
Go get that. Any of these maps too, if you have the ability to get them, get on them. I think none of us here, most of the people here were around that Grand Champ rank. Anybody can do these. If you get them, they help you get better at the game too. I think this was just a great showcase of what the community has been working on in the scenes behind Rocket League. What a dedicated, passionate community can make. Thunda. So thanks for showcasing those off.
Yep. And then I want to do one last shout out. Draco, he's my co-op speedrun buddy for Egyptian Tomb. So we do 100% co-op where you collect all 30 onks. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show that off, but maybe next time, you never know. I think there's a lot more in Rocket League to show. But,
and I will say the time between now and next GDQ or whatever, if we're able to get another showcase in, there's going to be a bunch of different maps. There's always new maps coming, like at least once a month. Multiple times a month. I see like a new map almost all the time when I look at the workshop page for Steam. There's lots of different things to try. There's lots of different runs. There's lots of also amazing people in the community. Once again, there's a workshop map community. Balanced Waffle, he has a Discord full of it. You can find friends, play online with them, and plenty of tutorials on how to help you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to shout out again to all the runners here, Boney, Blaku, Jimingo, Thunda, for showcasing these maps off. It's real cool to see people that actually can do them. First off, we could have just had one of us in there, and it would not have looked good. So thank you. And shout outs again to the speedrunning community. We have so many different communities in Rocket League in general, as I mentioned before, freestyle community, the competitive community, the casual community. You got your content creation community, trading community. There's so many different communities in Rocket League, and being able to showcase the speedrunning one on a stage like this, AGDQ is awesome. So shout out to Plumato for, again, making sure people have a home for this stuff to go to, and for AGDQ for having this here.
Appreciate you.
And shout out to everyone that got those extra donuts. That's what it's all about. We're here to watch people do amazing things in games, break games, and celebrate the games that they spend so much time into. And, of course, to raise money for Prevent Cancer Foundation. And you guys are doing a wonderful job of it. So thanks to AGDQ for having Rocket League in the first place on behalf of everyone in Rocket League. It's been a blast. And to everyone that's just supporting GDQ in general, it's awesome. So, Iggy, I think we're done unless Thunda has another thing to say there, because he's just sitting there.
I do have one thing to say. If nobody said it, chat, you look really cute today. If no one said that yet, everyone.
They really do, don't they?
Very, very cute.
They really.
Chat.
Well, with that,
That's all I have.
Thank you for everyone that's helped us celebrate what the community is making here in Rocket League. It's continued to go strong. It was a blast to be here. Iggy, thanks for having us here.
You're very welcome, Leaf. Once again, BoneyPlatypus, Jimingo, Blaku, and ThundaSurge, thank you so much for bringing Rocket League to GDQ. Thank you for Plumato and Leaf. Always a pleasure for making sense of the amazingness we saw. And also thank you, chat, for not only bringing Rocket League to GDQ with your donations, but also meeting and exceeding $1 million. That. All right, we got a couple of donations I want to get through for a brief moment. We have Jag from World 9 Gaming with a $5 donation. He says, hello there. Some of you know, we last year lost our friend Paul to cancer last year. Today would have been his birthday. So I think it's a good time to raise a glass of Dr. Pepper, shout for Paul, and start a $5 train to get us to that million on Wednesday. Thank you, Jagman. We appreciate it. And the call to Paul and that train was heated because we reached that million. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you again at a live event. And we also have a donation of $50 from Mike Uyama. This is. You might have to get your clips ready, everybody. I'm going to go for it. Mike Uyama says, "Dearest Twitch chat, I humbly apologize for the misguided and completely baseless claims that you are, quote unquote, bad. After minutes of reflection, I've come to realize that you are an amazing chat, and I am truly sorry for my attitude for the last 11 years. I appreciate all the times that you've been there for me, even though I wasn't there for you. Thank you, Twitch chat, and thank you for the million. Uyama." Thank you, Mike. Sorry, chat. I'm just overwhelmed by that statement that Mike Yama did, and just the whole night in general. It's been a very moving night, an incredible event, far and away the most successful GDQ at this point in the event. And we still have a few days left. Let's keep it going, everybody. Just one more donation. Let me get it to you. Zeta2 comes in with a $25 donation. Their comment reads, "Thanks, GDQ, for keeping me company as I pack to move to another country. Congratulations on the 1 million. Let's go for 2. Thank you so much for helping us to get there." And now, we're going to send it over to Jay Hobbs, where he's going to be speaking with a fine representative for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, Dr. Martín Lajous.
Welcome back to AGDQ 2022, everybody. My name is Jay Hobbs, and I am joined by Dr. Martín Lajous. I am hoping I am pronouncing that even close to correctly. Thank you so much for joining me from Mexico City.
Thank you, Jay Hobbs. So I'm really happy to be here with you.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the work that you do?
Well, I am a medical doctor by training and a cancer epidemiologist. I worked at the National Institute of Public Health in Mexico, which is, a big institution that really works where we work on different aspects of health. My work is related to prevention and screening of different cancers, and more recently, I've been working on colorectal cancer. Which is a preventable and curable with screening to detect and remove the disease and the early cancer. But unfortunately, a large proportion of colorectal cancers in Mexico and other low and middle income countries are undiagnosed or diagnosed in advanced stages because there really are no organized screening programs.
So how much of your work is kind of on a lot of the, medical and research sides, and how much of it is more trying to actually get people screenings and get the word out there for people in your community?
So one of the advantages that we have is that we understand pretty well from experiences in high income countries of what we should do in order to correctly screen for colorectal cancer. So we already have all of that, both the technology and a lot of the experience on the impact that screening has on cancer mortality and having the disease is already there. So really, our work here has been to sort of translate strategies and programs that have been successful elsewhere to a different context, to a context in a country where people may have different attitudes towards the disease, or where the resources may be different.
And what kind of just made you decide to get into this line of work? I mean, I know you said you were already on the medical side for a while, but just in general, what made you want to get into cancer prevention?
Well, these are diseases that are in general cancer, but specifically colorectal cancer are preventable diseases. And this is something that we've learned a lot about. These colorectal cancer we've learned a lot about over the years. We understand pretty well the biology of the disease, and it's just a question of knowing how to do things correctly, and we can have an impact on people's lives and people's quality of life.
Yeah. How has the Prevent Cancer Foundation helped you to kind of make that impact?
Well, I mean, at the National Institute of Public Health, we're really grateful to PCF and to all of you for supporting PCF to do research in colorectal cancer, because this is a disease that has increased in frequency fairly recently in Mexico. And specifically in Mexico City, it's become the #1 cause of cancer death. However, as I said, it is a preventable and curable disease. And so we are really keen on trying to bring knowledge and experience from abroad to our context. Now, personally, I feel deeply indebted to PCF. And the reason is that the PCF basically allowed me to redirect my research efforts into this new area where we basically develop and implement cancer prevention projects. And I really feel that this area of research is an area of research where we're basically trying to translate knowledge as fast as possible and experience as fast as possible to a different context. So implementing these programs can really have an impact on the health of people.
Yeah, and you got a little bit into your personal connection there. What does this, cause and working in this field mean to you personally, like on a personal level here?
Well, on a personal level is actually knowing that the research that we'll be doing or that we're doing actually translates into better health for people out there. There's different types of research, but the translation of knowledge sometimes takes a long time. And here we're really doing an effort to translate this information into the community and into clinical settings as fast as possible. And I think this project that I worked, thanks to PCF and all of you, has done that and has opened up a new field of research in Mexico that I think I will be part of for the rest of my career as a cancer researcher.
That's great to hear, and I'm so glad we've been able to be a small part of helping to make that happen. Well, I wish we could talk with you for an hour or more about your work that you do in the field, but we do have to get back to the marathon at some point. So I wanted to ask you just a quick question, because you actually mentioned before we got started that you used to be a bit of a gamer yourself. So what were some of your games of choice growing up?
Well, I started with Mario, like a lot of people in my generation, I guess, but it was really GoldenEye that got us or got me into gaming. I used to play a lot with my two brothers, and interestingly, a few years ago, one of them actually got the game again up and running, and we spent a fair amount of our end of the year break playing GoldenEye, and we really, really loved it. I mean, it brought us together. It brought us back to our teenage years. So
that's great. Yeah, for me, it wasn't quite GoldenEye, but it was 007 Nightfire. I think one console generation later that I remember playing with my brother all the time. I don't know if it's on the schedule this year, but you'll have to take a look, because oftentimes GoldenEye or some of those other retro games, plenty of Mario games, of course, make it onto the schedule. So, Dr. Lajous, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us a little bit about your work and Prevent Cancer Foundation and everything like that. And I just wish you the best of luck in continuing to make an impact in your community.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to some speedruns. Remember, folks, that if you have the means, please consider donating at gamesdonequick.com/donate. Your donations go directly to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And keep watching, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you very much for that excellent interview, Jay Hobbs and Dr. Martin. Very much appreciated hearing about all the good work the PCF does. Got myself one quick donation here. Got $50 from Ryan. They say 1 million. Hype! $1 million is cool, but what's even cooler are the people who make it happen year after year. You are all awesome. And that's not just to us. That's for all of you out there who made this happen. You're the ones that actually make this event as successful as it is, with your contributions, with your generosity, with your outreach, with your advocacy, and spreading the word, sending some money in, meeting incentives, getting prizes, all that wonderful stuff. I just want to thank you all again. Thank you so, so much. Coming up, we've got a fantastic run of Risk of Rain 2 that's going to be swinging on over to you after these messages. So don't touch that tab. AGDQ 2022 will be right back.